Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. President Biden's popularity with black voters has been taking a hit because he hasn't been able to pass voting rights, police reform, or Build Back Better over Republican obstruction. But Biden's plan to appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court could help his approval among black voters begin to rebound. According to a poll conducted by Change Research, 86% of black women voters support Biden's decision to appoint a black woman justice to the nation's highest court. That's welcome news for Biden because his support among black people, including black women, has waned. But while Biden's pending choice has drawn praise from black women, it has drawn criticism from conservatives. Former HUD Secretary Ben Carson accused the president of playing identity politics and choosing an appointee based on race and sex rather than experience and credentials alone. The irony of Carson's criticism is that he himself had zero experience in housing policy and initiatives before he was appointed. Ben Carson is not alone in his criticism of Biden. Conservative commentator Ben Shapiro tweeted, "Joe Biden will nominate a black woman for the Supreme Court because he said he would select someone based on race and sex." And then we will be told that noting that is definitionally affirmative action and race discrimination is itself racist. And just one day prior, Mitch McConnell lamented that Biden should not outsource his Supreme Court picks to the radical left, to which the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki had this to say.
If anyone is saying they plan to characterize whoever he nominates after thorough consideration with both parties as radical before they know literally anything about who she is, they just obliterated their own credibility.
Joining us to discuss is CQ Roll Call columnist and Equal Time podcast host Mary C. Curtis and senior editor of law and policy for Rewire News Group, Imani Gandy. So Mary, for the 190 years or so, almost 2 centuries, that presidents in this country never even considered anyone other than a white man, was that not identity politics?
Oh, definitely. For those for whom white is the default and that representation and merit are mutually exclusive, then this is a problem. For the rest of the folks who say that if you chose on the basis of qualifications, you would have had black women on the court long before then. It's so interesting. The hypocrisy is rampant here. No one said anything when Ronald Reagan said he would appoint a woman and appointed Sandra Day O'Connor, and Donald Trump said he would appoint a woman and appointed Amy Coney Barrett. And if you look at the resumes of the black women on the short list, you will see their qualifications are amazing. And if you remember, when Barack Obama said he would appoint a justice, he didn't say he would appoint a Latina justice. Yet, when he appointed Sonia Sotomayor, the howls that it was a diversity hire were incredible. And I wrote columns on her confirmation hearings and the way she was treated as though she didn't know anything about the law and barely knew English. Well, maybe that's exaggeration, but she was condescended to. So we just know that any woman of color, and a black woman in particular, is going to get this kind of treatment.
So I want to get your opinion on that as well, Imani.
I agree 100%. I think it's very interesting that when we are talking about white male candidates for anything, these concerns about qualifications, these nebulous concerns about qualifications never seem to come up. But as soon as you start to look beyond the white male box, then suddenly it's diversity hire and it's affirmative action and, oh, well, we don't know if they're qualified. And as a black woman who went to law school and who was consistently underestimated and who consistently felt as if she needed to prove herself to be viewed as even half as competent as the frankly quite mediocre men I was in school with, I understand what it's like to be black and to have to prove yourself. And so I can guarantee that any black woman that makes it on the short list will be overwhelmingly qualified, because in order to succeed in law at all as a black woman, you have to be overwhelmingly qualified just to be seen as belonging in the room and at the table.
Now, let's talk a little bit about these qualifications because Imani's right. When it was just white men, that was the entire universe. This idea of qualifications did not register in the same way. Not every Supreme Court justice has any college. Right? There's some that never even went to college, period. There's a much larger list of people who never went to law school. The varieties of people who were being asked to be justices was all over the map, and no one kind of batted an eye because they were all white men. They had the golden ticket, which was not enough melanin and too much testosterone, and that's all you need, right? And so, but I was looking up this idea of qualifications before. There's a guy named James Francis Burns, 1941. Appointed to the Supreme Court. Never finished high school. He dropped out, he's 14 years old. Everything he learned about the law, he learned from clerking in other people's law firms. But that didn't stop South Carolina from admitting him to the bar, so he practiced a little while. And then that guy ends up on the Supreme Court. Lasts 1 year, he quits, but he was there. And the Senate approved him. Like, why is it that when we now shift into women are now being considered and black people are being considered and Latina people are being considered, then all of a sudden everybody has to have gone to Ivy League school, everybody has to have impeccable records because now that becomes the measure?
Yes, well, as I said before, in a society where white is the default in any kind of job or qualification, any person of color is looked on and dissected. And you can be sure that even though they have the votes, there are going to be attacks with Mitch McConnell, who, of course, did all kinds of maneuvering to get 3 Trump-appointed judges on the court, is now complaining about the kind of judge this is going to be. And you'll have people like the Josh Hawleys and the Ted Cruzes playing for their base and attacking. It's almost reptilian. I mean, Imani has more qualifications than so many people who have been on the court. And I was just looking and seeing that, President Lyndon Johnson, when he appointed the first black woman as a federal judge, Constance Baker Motley, and looking at her qualifications, she should have been appointed or considered for the court, but there was that ceiling that she could not go above. So I think you're definitely correct that it is such hypocrisy, but it doesn't mean that we won't see it play out. But then again, all of these black women have been through it, and they are strong. And I don't think that it will stop them. They know what they're in for.
So, Imani, if the Democrats just hold together, they have enough votes. They have 50+1. Manchin said today he was open to someone who was a little bit more liberal than he is, maybe. Is there any scenario that you see where the opposition is just howling in the wind? The Democrats have the votes, they're going to vote as a bloc? Or do you believe that maybe Manchin, maybe Sinema, maybe someone will be peeled off and say they object?
I think there's always the danger that Manchin and Sinema are going to go rogue. One never knows what they're thinking. But, I think that Elie Mystal, who writes for The Nation and is a correspondent for MSNBC, made a really critical point, which is that there may be 2 Republicans that would like to get in on this action, right? This is going to be a historic nomination. There may be 2 Republicans, maybe Mitt Romney, maybe Lisa Murkowski, maybe Susan Collins, wouldn't bank on it, but there may be some people who don't want to be seen as simply opposing a nomination because it's a black woman and because Biden came out and said it was going to be a black woman, knowing that whether or not, as you said in the beginning, whether or not he said it was going to be a black woman, had he not said it and chosen a black woman, we would have heard the same outrage. So maybe we don't need Manchin and Sinema if they decide not to play ball. Maybe we can peel off a couple of Republicans. I certainly hope so. But if this goes beyond the midterms and if the Republicans somehow take back the Senate, then it's gonna be a problem.
Mary, let's get to the politics of this. This is incredibly popular in the black community, as that poll points out, incredibly popular among black women. Biden has not done a lot that has been really, really, really popular among black people, even though some of it has really helped black people. And if he got Build Back Better through it, that would help black people as well, in addition to anything they can salvage out of the voting rights bill. But those things have not moved so far. This would be something he could do even if it was pushback, it wouldn't be him, right? You know, it would be, he would have done what, he would have fulfilled his part of the promise, and the opposition would take the fall for it. Is this a you know, kind of best case scenario for Joe Biden coming at the exact right time? He needs this. He's going to get some bump out of it. Is this a political windfall for the Biden administration?
I think you're right. It does come at a really good time for him where he's being buffeted and he wants to change the conversation. And it is true that it would put a spotlight on the fact that a success he has had is getting a lot of judges on the courts, and he's increased the diversity very much. I also, though, think that it won't be enough. I think a lot of Black voters still will want to see progress on areas like voting rights and police reform, and also some of the tenets of the Build Back Better on child tax credits and other things that would be very helpful to the pocketbook. So it won't be the thing that turns it totally around, but it definitely will be something to change the conversation. And it will be a win because this will be a promise kept.
Mary C. Curtis and Imani Gandy. Imani, you heard Mary tonight throw your name in the pot, right? I'm not the person who heard that, right? You are now in the running. I expect the veterans to be at your door tomorrow morning vetting you for this position.